Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Sanskriti Acharya.
And this is Sudeep Karki.
And today we are back with the episode 2 of Book Talk series. It's been 3 weeks since we filmed the last video, and I think we're back after a really long time, and we'd like to apologize to keep you all waiting, but we are finally here with another video, and I would like you to tell us what this video is about.
So I'm really excited, first thing. And second thing, the video is about 5 book recommendations that has impacted our lives in any way. If you are a beginner and trying to read some books, I think we're gonna have a broad kind of recommendations because I am a non-fiction reader.
And I'm a fiction reader, so we are going to be discussing books from both the categories.
So let's start the video. Starting from the first book that I recommend from my list out of 5 is Sapiens.
Yeah.
Sapiens is a book written by Yuval Noah Harari. I have read all of his books. I have read his 21 Lessons for 21st Century, Homo Deus,
Quite a popular book,
Homo Deus and Sapiens, and also a new book called Nexus.
Oh, I think I have seen that book somewhere.
It has a cover with a pigeon.
Don't remember quite well, but I have seen the name of the book somewhere. So I think it's a recent release of the
It's a recent release.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Sapiens first. So how Sapiens impacted my life and why I recommend, because instead of reading other books in the beginning, let's understand why we are humans.
Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah.
So why we are humans, why we dominate the world, why lion is not the top of the pyramid, why humans are. So we are not the strongest person, we are not the strongest animal, right?
Yeah.
Elephant are. We are not the largest animal.
Yeah.
We are not the smartest animal. Dolphin are the smartest animal or creature. But still we dominate the food chain, we dominate the society. So that's why I recommend all of you and also you to read Sapiens. My book is with you.
Yeah. No, you took that book from me. I only have the Atomic Habits.
Oh yeah, I gave it to you, but you returned it just how I return non-fiction books.
Sorry, fiction books.
Fiction books.
The name non-fiction is at the tip of your tongue.
Oh yeah. I want to hear your recommendation.
Yeah, all right. So my recommendation, so I'm going to start from each genre: romance, thriller, and literary fiction. So my first recommendation, let's start with one of my favorite genres, which is romance. So the book that I recommend you to read from the romance category is The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. It is one of the oldest books, and there's also a movie adaptation in the book. You can either watch the movie or you can read the book. I would say I haven't watched the movie, but I have read the book. But I personally suggest you to read the book because this video is about book recommendations. So let me get back to what the book is all about. So the book is about a character called Noah, and he basically gets flashbacks and memories of this girl he met one summer. He fell in love with this girl, but unfortunately, because of the circumstances, the girl had to move somewhere with her family, and she later, like much later after a year, she happened to marry a guy, and they happened to meet one time again. Like life took them back together with each other, and they happened to like spend the rest of their life together. But how do they spend the rest of their life together is what you have to learn and understand through this book. So a romance that is quite emotional and heart-touching, and I would recommend it. Yeah. Over to you.
Yeah, I love the name of the book.
Yeah,
Notebook. Yeah. So, I think that is a quite well-known movie and a book.
Yeah, of course.
I have heard it lots of times. So, second book that I recommend all of you to read is Almanac of Naval Ravikant. I love that guy. That's why I love that book. I love how he thinks, how he perceives lives. He has not written the book. It's not a biography. It's not autobiography or something. It's a book written by an author called Eric Johnson or something. So he has written this book based on the tweet of what he has written. Just like how we say bookworm or brainstorm.
Yeah.
It's called tweet storm. So whatever you think, you tweet it.
this book is basically a collection of his tweets.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Naval Ravikant is a philosopher, he's a thinker, he's an investor, he's one of the billionaire.
Yeah, and he's also one of your favorite.
He used to tweet so many advices and everything. So that guy took all of his lessons and put that in a book. And it's
Sounds
called,
interesting.
it got like New York #1 seller.
Okay, yeah.
And that's really, I recommend. And also the gist of this book is how you can be rich and also happy.
Yeah, that's quite a straightforward gist.
Yeah.
Yeah, how to be rich. If you want to be rich, definitely read that book.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to our second recommendation from the fiction category, and it is going to be from my favorite genre, one of my favorite genres, and it is thriller. So the book I'm recommending is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. Now, I could have recommended Verity because it is the book that got me into reading, but I'm not going to recommend Verity. Instead, I'm going to be...
Yeah.
Instead, I'll recommend something something that you might not have read yet. That's what I'm assuming. So The House Across the Lake is a story of this girl, Casey, who is completely devastated. She has lost her husband, and she goes to this lake house where she spends time alone, and she spends time alone, and she's so much obsessed with like drinking, and she always has alcohol on herself. And there's this one time she picks up a pair of binoculars, and she starts looking around the lake house. All right, there are a bunch of houses, but there's this one house which is exactly across the lake, where she's particularly interested in, because there is this one celebrity, Catherine, model or celebrity, I forgot, but she's particularly interested in her life, and she one of the times she picks up this binoculars and starts looking into their house, and one day she happens to see something that just completely turns the story and completely turns the whole the scenario of the book. And from there, the actual twist starts. Towards the end, it takes a little bit of a horror turn, and I think if you're someone who also likes reading horror, I think this book can be a really good recommendation. It can be a very short read for you because it's a thriller, and you can skim through the book in one sitting or two sitting. Yeah, so I definitely recommend the book. You read The House Across the Lake. Over to you.
Yeah, I like the way you speak. I like the way she shares things about a book like a fiction author. And did you notice something?
What?
While you were talking about like drinking and something alcohol, I was just grabbing the bottle. That was a good
Coincidence.
Yeah, coincidence, a good timing. So the third book that I recommend all of you to read, and also you to read, is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. So this book is one of my best purchases ever. Yeah. So I purchased this book in Italy. I purchased this book with my mom. I still remember the day, and I finished that book within a week that I purchased it. So other times I used to get book and I used to keep it myself and just study when I need it. Yeah. But that time I really read that book with an excitement and joy.
That book caught your attention clearly.
Yeah. And being a non-fiction reader, I had there are 7 habits. So what are those 7 habits? I wanted to know that. So and I want all of you to read that book. And the gist and what I've learned in that book is the best thing that I've liked is the 7th habit. So 7th habit says, sharpen your saw. So sharpen your saw means, so there's a tree behind us, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have 1 week to cut down this tree, a foolish person starts from today. And he uses saw every day, whole night, and try to chop down this tree. A wise man will sharp his saw for continuously 6 days. Oh. And the next 7 days, within an hour, he will be able to cut that tree so perfectly.
I wonder where these ideas come from, like the authors who write these life lessons and the points. I wonder where they pick it up from.
I think he got this idea from Kalidas.
Who is he now?
You don't know. So Kalidas is a guy who used to who was a foolish guy.
Yeah.
He used to chop down a tree,
Yeah.
sitting off the side of the branch.
I know the story. I've heard it, I think, long back, and I still remember the story. Okay.
Obviously, he have learned from some way.
Yeah.
I think he have learned from some Kalidas or Goridas. Like I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so I am excited for your third recommendation.
All right, so let's move on to my third recommendation. So the third recommendation is from another category. It's a literary fiction, the genre. And the book that I'm going to, I think I've only read one book, if I remember, from that category. And that one book has made me fall in love with the author. And I'm excited to read some of his other works. And the author I'm talking about is Frederick Bachman. And the book I'm talking about is Anxious People. I talked about that book in the previous video, and that was the book I read like very recently. But after that I read a lot of other books as well, but in that video, I think that was the last book I read, and I talked about it in the other video. But Anxious People is about this lady who goes into a bank and she tries to rob the bank, but somehow her plan comes to fail, and she goes there and she finds out the bank is cashless. All right, it's a bit funny also, and it's a bit of it's basically telling life stories of each individual who is taken hostage by that robber. So there's this apartment viewing where everybody comes to see the apartment because they want to buy the apartment. They're the prospective buyers, and this robber happens to like run away from the police and get into this apartment and get stuck there with the other 6 or 7 people. So from there the story follows, and it's quite interesting because all of these people are like communicating with each other, complete strangers. They've never met each other before in their entire life, and there are so many other things happening in the story. Police are taking their statements of each of these prospective buyers, and there are 2 cops who are involved in solving this robbery, and who actually have very funny conversations in the middle. So I was also like giggling and like, it was kind of funny. So I think if you want a really good happy and funny story, you can definitely go for Anxious People.
Nice. So shall I begin the fourth recommendation?
Yeah, let's not waste time and begin the fourth.
Yeah, all right. So the fourth recommendation that I would like to tell everyone to read is How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
That book,
very common book.
Very common book, and one of the oldest book that is still being sold.
Yeah.
And even in a large quantity.
Yeah.
So that book is written by Dale Carnegie. I have also taken his course, online classes. And
when was this?
This was back in 2000, I think.
After you read the book.
21. Yeah, it was during lockdown. So basically, this is one of my oddly book that I've read. Once in a blue moon, I wasn't a reader. I ordered 3 books. And one day I started reading this How to Influence and Influence People, and it really helped me to get into new area or in your new college or new university, and you start your life with the new people around you. So how you can interact with them, how you can create a good relationship with them. That really talks about creating bond with friends. And also how to have
people can't do because most of them are introverts.
Yeah,
even if they are extroverts, they tend to like take time to adjust and adapt themselves to the environment. So I think that's a good recommendation.
Yeah, so basically that book is really helpful for all of us. Yeah. Your turn.
I'm on to my fourth book or fifth. Okay, fourth. So I'm on to my fourth book. So the next category and the next genre is also one of my favorite, which is historical fiction. And the book that I would like to recommend to read is The Stationery Shop of Tehran by Marjan Kamali. That is the book I bought the last time I went to Kathmandu in Books Mandala. I had a wonderful time there because I was surrounded by books, and I was just like, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm surrounded by books, and I've got like varieties of books. And at one point, even now when I think about it, I wish I could just grab them all.
But it's like heaven.
Yeah, it
and you
feels
don't
like
feel like
heaven.
to
Yeah.
return from there.
Yeah, exactly. And then I picked up two books. One is Powerless, and the other one is Stationery Shop of Tehran. I wanted to pick up more books, but also had to keep budget in mind. Yeah, so Stationery Shop of Tehran is about these two characters, Bahman and Roya. It takes place. In the late 1950s, 50s or 56, yeah. And this story takes place during the time of war, when the Kabul is going, the capital of Afghanistan, Kabul is going through a turmoil, where people are like fighting against politics, and like there are lots of politics happening there. So one day, Roya, she loves to read, all right? So she happens to go to this stationery shop, and one day she happens to meet this guy who's called Baman, right? And they start to talk to each other. They talk about books. They send each other letters. That's so interesting. And they fall in love with each other. And one day, Bahman just like disappears, and Roya is left behind alone. And he leaves her. He disappears completely. We do not know where he is. He just sends this letter one time, and he completely disappears after that. And Roya, she gets married, she has kids, and she moves on in her life. And towards the end, we get to see their meetup again once they get old.
Oh wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is the interesting part of the book, and we get to see what happens after they meet. Like there's so many, Roya has so many emotions inside of her that she wants to just like blurt out, and Baman has so much, so much to say that was left unsaid, because he disappeared, and they just happen to meet each other, and they try to solve what there is between the two of them, but they go separate ways. However, their love is the same. This is what the story tells about. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Shout out to Roya and Brahman.
Bahman.
Oh, sorry, Brahman. And this movie also, this book also reminds me of a movie called Lion. But yeah, there he is separated from his family, and later on he again meets his mom. That is a real story, and I really love the book that you are sharing. Yeah, the final recommendations of this video. So I would like to recommend in the fifth book, that is Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Yeah.
He has also done a few TED Talks, podcast, and everything. So this book is essential for 21st century and for our Gen Zs and millennials and Gen Alphas, every people, because it helps to teach you to break habits or to break bad habits, and to have to add good habits in your life. So this book is a little bit psychological. So if you have studied psychology in your semesters or in your colleges, then it will be really easy to grab the things. Even if you have not, that's not a big deal. It's not a rocket science, and anybody can understand that book. So how it has impacted me in my life is, it has helped me to create a routine for me. So as soon as I get up, I brush my teeth, I hit the gym, I come back, I shower, I go to work.
Yeah.
So that is a kind of chain that has created. So if I break one chain, so suppose I didn't go to gym, or I forgot to brush my teeth,
Yeah. Or
then
forgot to go to work.
every chain will be disabled, disrupted.
Yeah.
So that book I recommend for all of us to read.
Yeah, that is that I think basically sets you in a discipline.
Yeah, a kind of discipline.
Having a chain means like staying disciplined in your life.
Yeah, you are right. This book also says, focus on discipline and don't focus on motivation. So if you focus on motivation, yes, it will push you for some time.
Yeah.
But if you stay disciplined, I think it will push you for entire life.
Long term.
Yeah. I'm excited for your fifth recommendation now.
Yes. All right. So my fifth recommendation is actually going to be a short book, and I would like to end this video by giving this one recommendation which anybody can pick up, because this is easy to read. This is short. It is under 300 pages, and it's written by an Indian author, so the language is also quite understandable. So I'm talking about Durjoy Datta here. The book is If It's Not Forever, It's Not Love. So this book I read long back, and let me get to the story first, and then I'll tell you why you should read this book. So The story starts with these two main characters, Dev and Avantika. Dev and Avantika are a married couple. So the story begins by a Delhi Chandni Chowk bomb blast. You must know because I have shared that with you.
Yeah, I know.
And then in that bomb blast, many people die. All right, but Dev happens to survive. And he finds a notebook. He finds a burnt notebook, and that notebook belongs to a guy who has filled his pages with just about this girl, like, so this girl who's a random or stranger. And now after reading the book, now Dave is on a mission to find who that girl is, so that he can go give to that girl and tell her that this used to be your lover, and he has written these things about you, or at least like give her, I don't he doesn't know if she knows or she's aware of this guy or not, but his ultimate mission is to just go and give this notebook to her, and like let her know that this guy has died in the bomb blast. So in this journey, Dave hops from one city to the other city trying to find this girl, and in his journey joins his wife Avantika, and also two of his really good friends, Dhruv and I think Shreya is her name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name or I've forgotten the name, but yeah, the four of them, they take on a journey to find this girl, and what they find at the end is something that just will blow your mind, because you will not be expecting the twist. So let me come to the reason why you should read this book, is because there's also a twist, tragedy, and love story. A combination of these three things will definitely keep you hooked to the book. So definitely pick it up. Yeah. I think we're done with our recommendations. What do you think?
Yeah, we have done, and we have made our video as raw as is possible.
Yeah.
We just figured out few books and we try to recommend the books, but the conversation that we are having on is completely raw
Yeah.
and uncooked,
Uncooked, exactly.
unprocessed.
Yeah, unprocessed, which is why maybe in the middle I might have taken wrong names, because I have read so many books over these past weeks that
Yeah.
like I might just I might say the name of one book and like take characters of another book and mix it up and make a khichdi out of it.
What is that name? Roy and
Roya and Bahman.
Bahman. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll remember
yeah.
that.
I still think of that book. I still think of those characters. So some book like really stays with you. And Stationery Shop of Tehran is one of those books for me. And someday in future, I hope to pick up that book again and read it again.
Yeah.
I want to totally forget the memories of Roya and Bahman and then start the book all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we are done for this.
Yeah, we're
And also,
done.
I want to recommend a sixth book that's just popped in my mind,
Yeah, you can.
and that is An Ice Cream. So if you don't understand this, please watch our
Watch the
previous video.
That's a good way to say go and watch our previous video.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Nice promotion.
yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and we hope you like it. And we're gonna come up with more recommendations as we read more books.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to
Like
share.
and subscribe the channel.
Yes. Bye bye.